Hey, Squirrel Bait. I hope you're doing well. So, we're back at the Book of Enoch, and when we last left off, the angels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, had pled the case of the people to God in chapter 9, and kind of petitioned God against these other angels, I'm assuming. 'Cause it calls them watchers. It calls them the sons of God, I think, in Genesis. And so I'm assuming they're angels. But here in chapter 10, it continues. And it says, Then the Most High uttered, the Holy and Great One spoke, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah, and tell him in my name, Hide yourself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come on the whole earth and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world. And again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel, hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudael, and cast him therein, and place rough and jagged rocks over him, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment he will be cast into the fire. And heal the earth, which the messengers have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. And to Gabriel the Lord said, Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of the watchers from among men. Send them against one another, that they may destroy each other in battle, for they will not have length of days. And no request that they make of you will be granted to their fathers on their behalf, for they hope to live a continuous life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said to Michael, Go, bind Simjaza and his associates who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanliness. And when their sons have slain one another, excuse me, and when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, until the day of their judgment and of their consummation, until the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they will be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they will be confined forever. And whoever will be condemned and destroyed will from then on be bound together with them to the end of all generations. And destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end. And let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it will prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth will be planted in truth and joy forevermore. And then all the righteous will escape and will live until they beget thousands of children. And they will complete all the days of their youth and their old age in peace. And then the whole earth will be tilled in righteousness, and will be planted with trees and be full of blessing, and all desirable trees will be planted on it, and they will plant vines on it, and the vine which they plant thereon will yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it will bear 1,000, and each measure of olives will yield 10 presses of oil. And you will cleanse the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and destroy all the uncleanliness that is worked on the earth from off the earth. And all the children of men will become righteous, and all nations will offer adoration and will praise me, and all will worship me. And the earth will be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment. And I will never again send them on it from generation to generation and forever. That's a long chapter. So he's laying verse 8. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. Just straight up. Laid all of it on Azazel, who in chapter 8 is the one that taught them how to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates and how to like make bracelets and jewelry and makeup. So in chapter 8, it lists several angels here for what their secrets that they taught. Like Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings, which I was talking to somebody, and they thought that might include like hallucinogenic herbs, maybe, which is a possibility. That definitely makes sense. But like the enchantments, the root cutting, Amaros taught the resolving of enchantments. Baraquagil taught astrology and so on, the constellations, the signs of the earth. None of that, like the way it's written, makes it sound like these other things taught sin. But here in chapter 10, it only ascribes Azazel. Were taught by Azazel, to him ascribe all sin. Period. So, what I was saying in the video on chapter 8 about how some of this doesn't sound like sin, like, the constellations and the signs of the clouds and the weather, and like that all sounds like good things to know. And so here it's saying in chapter 10 that they're not calling that sin, only what Azazel taught, and to ascribe all the sin that is now to Azazel, which would be war and the bracelets, coloring tinctures, the jewelry, like the hair dye. Which I guess it does make sense then, because as soon as they finished talking about that, and it says, and there arose much godliness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt. So it's not that some of these secrets that these angels taught were evil. I don't even know if they would be called secrets. Maybe they were just unknown to people at the time, like the navigation and stuff like that. The signs of the sun, the course of the moon. Let's see, astrology, constellations, the knowledge of the clouds, the signs of the earth. Like all that stuff sounds very useful, especially for farmers, which is what most of these people were, you know. And so then it goes on to describe their punishment, and tells him go to Noah, tell him that a great deluge is coming, like get all your things in order. And so he's gonna wipe out the earth, get rid of all this stuff, bind these guys, and bury them so they never see light again. That's pretty crazy. Proceed against the bastards. Like, that sounds like angry talk. Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication. So, he's saying, like, go out, gather up all these bastards, and chuck them in a hole so deep that they'll never see the light of day again. That's a pretty heavy chapter. And in contrast, chapter 11 looks like it's about 3 sentences, maybe 2. So we'll see where it goes from there. I might read chapter 11 and 12 together. They both look pretty short. But yeah, so it looks like we're getting into the judgment here. But oh, excuse me. But it ends with kind of a nice note. Like after all this terrible judgment falls, like after he drops the hammer and wipes the slate, it says, like the earth will be prosperous. Which I think is kind of funny because historically, like if you look at like the Black Plague of Europe, it was a terrible, terrible time, lots and lots of death. However, following the plague was one of the most plentiful and prosperous times of the European continent. I mean, like after the plague came through and cleaned out, then like Italy prospered. Most all of Europe prospered, but I mean especially Italy. Um I mean the gardens were all very plentiful. It was it was one of the most productive and peaceful times in Europe. It's pretty amazing stuff. Like the years immediately following the Black Plague, the Dark Ages. Um, because I mean, we had the Renaissance immediately afterwards. Is pretty wild. Makes you wonder, don't it? But anyhow, Squirrel Bait, I love you. And I want you to know that I'm proud of you. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. And we'll continue on in chapter 11 next time. We'll see you later. Bye.